See, I believe when you are that committed advocate, there's no such thing as clocking in or clocking out. There is just
Right. Right.
being the advocate. And I want to say publicly thank you because I know how hard that is. But then waiting in the trauma, WADING, waiting in the trauma is something I believe we as these professional women have had to unlearn, right?
Mhm.
And you've been learning to unlearn some of those things. Tell me about some of those unlearnings that you have begun to do in your life. And I know we talk a lot about that in the Rise
Yeah.
Advocate Academy, but share with us what are some of the unlearnings that you've had to do as you have been progressing through the life of Crystal?
Yeah, so there was a lot of number one of discovery, awareness, and then unlearning the dysfunction or the scripts that I have
Mm,
internalized as my truth.
yes.
And
Ooh,
so number one,
number
it's
one.
yeah, it's number one is just my, the trauma of being feeling, the trauma of questioning my decisions and my thought
Right.
process. When I was labeled, that
Yes.
really threw a wrench, and how I saw myself, and just believing in my own ideas, in the choices that I made. And I had struggled with that,
Mhm,
where I doubted myself all the time. And
mhm.
as a result of that, it really caused me to experience a lot of anxiety. So
Yes.
I'm just anxious about everything.
Mhm,
I and then which is all grounded in fear.
mhm.
So it was the fear of um wanting to do all these things. Okay, so I'm feeling all this energy and all
Right.
these things and the vision, but at the same time living in fear of being found out that
Mm,
you're not supposed to even be in the room. You're
mm,
not. I'm fighting this. This is what
mhm,
they're gonna find out that you're really not smart. And
mhm.
and so I was terrified of making mistakes. I was waiting for a validation from other people. And that validation, it doesn't matter who it was from, that
Right.
validation just carried
Right.
so much weight. Okay, so because I did not believe and trust my own thinking. And so
Mm,
that was one thing that I had to dismantle,
mhm.
that I am smart. I am, Carrie, I am creative. And I had to learn those things, and stop allowing other people to speak um, negativity into my space, because I did.
Yeah.
And so those are just some of the things that I had to unlearn. And then with that, the anxiety.
Mm,
I was constantly, there was times I couldn't sleep. I was constantly worrying.
mhm.
And I finally, when I went through the Rise Advocate, I was really able to sit down in it
Mm.
and look at how it was manifesting in my life and how it was affecting my other relationships, on how I was showing up in the world. And I
Girl,
didn't
why am I over here
believe.
like, because I just wrote down like a page of things you said. And
Yeah.
like what this is why it is so important
Mhm.
for people to hear you. Because when people see you, they don't see that, right?
Mhm.
They see you as Crystal. She is out there killing it,
Mhm.
right? And you sitting there like, this is killing me softly with this song right here called, listening to other people share, and they have no relevance in your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Waiting for validation. And you said it didn't matter who it came from.
Mm-mm.
You
It
just
didn't.
were fiending for it.
Yes. Yes. And I allow people, and because of that trauma, I was carrying other people's crap. I
Mm.
was carrying other people's insecurity.
Hashtag
You
stop
know,
carrying other people's crap.
yes. And
Mm.
so, and I found myself, wanting to be liked and wanted to be, so I was doing things that didn't make sense. And
Mhm.
I was tired. I
Yes.
was exhausted.
Mhm.
And I was losing focus on what was important to me personally, because there, in my head, it was more important that I make somebody else make sure that they were safe, they were comfortable, they were okay. And if you're not, you're going to be okay sooner or later. Don't worry about yourself right now. Just make sure that they're okay.
They're okay.
And I kept saying, well, I can endure the pain. I can take it, you
Mhm.
know.
Right.
And I created that in
Right.
order to continue to walk in this again, in this dysfunction that
Mhm.
I had internalized as my truth.
Mhm.
And I, I was exhausted,
Right.
I'm going home at night, and I'm sitting there like, Crystal, what are you doing?
Mhm.
I journal every day.
Mhm.
I've been journal, and sometimes I can go back 20 years and read
Wow.
stuff that I've written. And I remember when I came to a crossroad, and this was, and I was making some decisions in my life because I was just miserable.
Yes.
I was busy. I was busy.
Of
I was
course.
waking up in the morning. I was like busy doing stuff. But then at the end of the day, I come home and I'm getting ready for bed. I'm just exhausted. And I'm asking myself, so what did you do today?
Mm.
I'm trying to write, like, what did you accomplish? And I would just sit there holding my journal with my pen,
Mm.
don't know what to write,
Mm.
because I just felt empty, that I was
Yeah.
just busy with
Yeah.
nothing.
Busy with nothing. Isn't that,
Yeah.
we were talking about that being such the plague that is
Mhm.
the dis-ease, is the spirit of busyness with the result of nothingness. We aren't about the business of Crystal and living out her mission. So let me
Mhm.
ask you this: when you saw the advertisement, because we've been together now for 2 Rise Advocates Academies, when you first saw that, what was going through your head and what made you go, I need to check this out? What was it?
Yeah. So when I saw it, how I was still, you know, in my busyness,
Mhm.
and I saw and I said, I need to sign up for this. And it was in the back of my mind. And I know that I don't believe that things just happen by happenstance. I believe
Yes.
that, things happen by design. And I was taking care of my mom because my
Yes.
mom was really sick. So I was her primary, caretaker, and we was transitioning, we're still with this pandemic, and I was just feeling overwhelmed. And I remember coming out of the store, sitting in my car, and then you called and said,
Mm.
hey, Crystal, what you doing? And I'm like, hey, Diana, because I'm always, really excited to hear from you. He says, so you haven't signed up. Are you going to sign up? Because I told you I was going to sign up, right?
Yeah.
Which, and so he says, okay, so are you signing up? What are we going to do?
Yes.
And I said, I'm going to sign up right now. Before I got my car,
Get
I
out of
got
the
out,
parking lot.
before I got out the parking lot, I said, if I don't do this now, I'm not going to do it.
Mhm.
And I signed up because I knew, number one, something was just drawing me to this. It was drawing me to you, and I knew that I needed something. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what to ask for, but I knew that I needed something, and
Mhm.
I believed that this was it. And,
Mhm.
and of course, I just love your energy, and it's just so positive. So that's how I signed up,
Yeah.
and because I just got tired of feeling that like I said, that I felt like I was standing in a doorway,
Mm.
and I felt like I was just standing there, but I wasn't walking through.
Yes.
And that's what it felt like. I wasn't walking through it. But I felt like I was stuck.
I can see so many people relating to exactly what
Mhm.
you said. I mean, I want us all, as we're listening to this recording, I want you to think about that in your life. Because oftentimes it's like that dream where you feel like you're trying to move, but you can't.
Mhm.
And I really believe most people see that door of opportunity, but they have realized, as we learned in the class, that they can't get past that upper limit. They really stop themselves before they edit themselves, right? They
Yes.
stop themselves before they could even get to the doorknob, but they're just standing there staring at it like a scene from the Matrix where their mouth is just like, they can't do it. So Kristen, that was powerful. Now, when you entered into the class, I want you to share with people, because some people might be intimidated. Like, this is a lot of material. I can't get through it all. But what were the things that we were sharing with you that gave you a sense of peace that you are exactly where you need to be as you are traveling through this program?
Yeah, I tell you, the one thing that really struck me to my core, that really allowed me to start dismantling just some of the scripts and being able to see my life just through a different lens, was when you made the statement, what you are seeking is seeking you.
Yes.
Because it reflected on that, again, that feeling of being stuck in that doorway.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted something different. I just didn't know what.
Right.
And then I didn't know what I wanted to create in this space because I felt so bogged down with just old stuff of fear and anxiety and being overwhelmed and this illness of busyness and restlessness.
Yes.
And so when you said that, I went and wrote it on my mirror, because I have a mirror in my office, and I wrote it, and I just and that really hit me,
Right.
because I know that there was something else for me. This wasn't it. I knew this wasn't it, but I was scared to move past the doorway because I didn't know where the door was going to lead.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so
we want to know what's on the other side.
What's on the other side? Because I don't know. I know what this feels like, even though
Right.
it's like hard and it's miserable and I'm uncomfortable, but at least I know how to manage it. But I didn't know how to manage that. Right. I didn't even know what was possible. I couldn't even imagine what was even possible on the other side of the door.
Girl.